All right, we are off. Doesn't look like anyone's done this trail in a while. You must know where the top of the mountain is. You must have a clear vision for yourself. Holy fucking shit. Hello friends, it is my last day on this beautiful island and we're gonna go for a hike up that mountain. We're gonna climb up like this, up to the top, back down. It is possible to go all the way up like this, but I haven't got the time today to do a round trip. First stop is 7-Eleven for supplies. Right, this is the start point. Looks like there's a few people on the trail. Very quiet. I've no idea how long it's going to take. I predict about no more than 4 hours, but we'll see. Repacking the bag, got some spare tops, hat, tripod, first aid kit because I'm a responsible adult, charger with money. We got the 7-Eleven stuff. I love this water. It's like a pH CBD water. A couple of coconut waters, 4 electrolytes, banana that I'm gonna have now, Thai Red Bull, and this is the only food I've got. Dehydrated mango. That's all you need. All right, we are off. No alcohol allowed, which seems sensible, and no food. That's because they don't want you dropping rubbish because no one's going to clean it up. Even if you have things like a banana, leaving the banana skin, or orange peel is actually the worst. Leaving orange peel out is actually littering. It takes so long to decompose. I think it can be harmful to some of the animals as well, but we often think it's kind of like composting, but that's not really the case. There you are, little tip. This looks like our route up. Pretty much going to be following my nose. So the app I use is called All Trails. You can download maps. It always marks your start point and it adds like a breadcrumb trail so you can follow your steps back. So you can literally just go to the bottom of a mountain, find a path, press navigate and sort of find your way up, and you're always able to retrace your steps. It's kind of similar to Strava as well. There's a bit of a social media aspect to it. You can submit your route, rate it, put some pictures up, and then other people can find the route you've done, and you can also see other people's routes and their rating of that route. Beautiful. Nice to be deep in it, in the jungle. You can probably hear the cicadas and the trees making their sounds. I don't know, if you don't really feel like going to some sound bath where you sit and lie there and someone makes a bowl vibrate, just get into nature. That's the OG sound bath. Go sit by the ocean, listen to the roar of the ocean. Like, that is a sound bath. Nature is healing, gets you in line with who you actually are. If you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, caught up in the details of life, go for a walk in nature. Try and find somewhere quiet and just take yourself for a walk. This part of Asia has these beautiful big rocks everywhere. They're all over the island. And it's actually interesting, in the northeast of this island, there's loads of hippies who actually live in like the caves under these rocks. Sounds silly, but yeah, there's literally hippies who live here, who literally go into the wilderness and yeah, just live. I don't even know if they have tents. They just kind of stay. I don't know what they eat. They probably go to 7-Eleven, to be honest. Yeah, this island was initially like a bit of a hippie island. People came here 40 years ago and kind of claimed it. It's still nice and quiet. I imagine it will get busier. Yeah, the original people here just came and were complete hippies, smoked weed, ate the mushrooms here, which grow here. They actually grow in elephant dung, some of them. They just live under rocks. Hippies living under rocks. Right, this is fun. Doesn't look like anyone's done this trail in a while, so it's a little bit overgrown. I can still see the path, even though it might look hard to find. When you do this a lot and when you're outdoors, and I am by no means some survival expert, but when you start hiking like this all the time, you start to see, even if it's very subtle, where people have walked before. You start to pick up on it. You start to pick up on branches that are broken, kind of how the leaves are, little clearings, even if it's really subtle. Like, the more you do it, the clearer the path becomes, and you get good at noticing these things. Particularly on like snowy mountains as well. You start to see like crampon marks, and you start to see where like the turf isn't growing, and you can kind of, even if it's just like all rocks, you can navigate yourself up. There we go. So that was getting a bit disorientating. So I'm just going to leave a few markers. I don't know, like every 2 minutes or so, just leave a marker like that. Even though I've got the GPS, it's just a good protocol. Climbing a mountain is such a great teacher. It's a really good analogy for life. A lot of the times in life we think, we maybe watch a video, particularly as a creator, an entrepreneur, we watch a video, we read a book, and we start taking action, like very intense action, and we do it for like a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month, and then we burn out and we stop. And that's like sprinting. That's like trying to sprint up a mountain. Now, with a mountain, the important thing is consistency over intensity. Consistency over intensity. First, you must know where you're going. You must know where the top of the mountain is. You must have a clear vision for yourself, a clear direction for what it is you're aiming for. Then, holy fucking shit. Right, I'm somewhat alarmed. I'm currently stood on a big rock with a stick. So, as I was speaking just then, I saw one rather large animal sprinting, and then I saw two more following it, and some rather aggressive noises. Now, there's no tigers or anything like that in Koh Phangan, but there are wild dogs. There are wild dogs who can be quite aggressive, and also a lot of them have rabies. So I don't fancy being stuck up this mountain, being chased by a bunch of dogs. Now, I've been looking out to see if they're with someone, if it's just someone coming for a walk, but I haven't seen or heard any humans. So it's somewhat alarming. So the main danger here is snakes. I think there's cobras and king cobras. No, I know there's king cobras here. So I'm just waiting it out here for a little bit, see if I can see any more movement. I know you might be like, Tom, it's just some dogs probably. Chill the fuck out. But I am on my own up here, and if I get bitten and they have rabies, that's really not a good scenario. I'm going to be a little bit cautious. So we're moving forward and we're back on the path. I kind of went off to the side and stood on a rock where I could see the path, and I was hoping that I would see a person or a couple of persons, a couple of people walking by, and that would have meant that it was just someone taking their dog for a walk. But what's alarming is that I haven't seen that, and I would have seen them. I've got a big stick, so they won't come near me, but definitely want to avoid getting rabies in the middle of the jungle. Right, the path forward has become somewhat unclear. Can't really climb up that, so I'm going to try and go around these rocks. What a view! Look at that. Looks like it's raining over there. Beautiful. Completely stunning. So the only other issue is I have got bitten by something on the back of my leg, which has gone quite red and raised. So I'm going to go ahead and get the first aid kit out, put some bug repellent or something on, but feel fine. Haven't seen any more wild animals or heard them. Maybe seen a monkey actually, heard a monkey in the trees. That was about it. But put an antiseptic thing on it. Stings like a bitch. But we're all right. Not going to get hurt by a little bug or some dogs. Signs of wild hippies. Can hear some monkeys rustling around the trees there. We made it. That's pretty beautiful. Yeah, it's been got the adrenaline going a little bit. It wasn't fun seeing those dogs or whatever the fuck they were moving like that. We'll see if we find them on the way down. To be honest, it's been a strange 48 hours. I don't know. This island's a very interesting island. It's all on quartz rock. It definitely has a different feel. If you've ever been to this island, you know that there's like a feel. As soon as you leave the island, something changes. As soon as you come back, you feel it again. Lots of people say that about the island. There's lots written about it. But I don't know if it's because there's like a lunar eclipse coming or something. I don't really buy into a huge amount of that stuff necessarily. But some weird things have been happening. The last 2 days, there's about 10 dogs, and where I live, they just live by 7-Eleven and on the streets. They've been going nuts. They've been chasing people, biting people on bikes, like going at them on when you're driving past. They've never done that the whole 2 months I've been here. They're going a bit wonky. 2 days ago I saw the worst accident I've ever seen. I'll spare you the details, but someone literally being peeled off the side of the road, and their bike, they just sort of were mangled in their bike. It's fucking horrendous. That was not good. And then yesterday I saw a massive digger just fucking fall over on the road, just toppled right over on the road. That was crazy. So yeah, there's been like a few over the last 48 hours. There's been like maybe it's just me, probably just coincidence, but there's been this like weird feeling of unrest and yeah, strange. Dehydrated mango. It's just 10 out of 10. So I think that was actually a full summit. So it's a little bit higher to go. We'll make sure we make it to the top, but that seems to be the best viewpoint so far. Right, this is the peak, but there's nothing here. It's just more trees. That other peak was more exciting. There we are, made it to the top. Good to climb the mountain that I've been looking out on for the last couple of months. Right, let's see what's in store on the way down. I just got stung on the neck and on the arm. That's throbbing quite a bit. So hopefully avoid wild animals. Get to a pharmacy and get something to put on the stings. Let's go. This jungle has well and truly spanked me today. It's given me a few good little bites. Got the adrenaline going. Not necessarily the serene hike I was planning, but hey, always an adventure. So the bites and stings don't feel too good. I'm not so fussed about the one on my neck and arm because I saw it was a wasp and that's just a wasp. More concerned about the one on the back of my leg because I didn't see what it was. So the nasty things here are like mini little snakes. It wasn't that, but also some spiders as well. You don't want to bite from them. So this is where I saw the animals and made a quick dash. Left my tripod there. This has been fun. I've enjoyed this. I reckon about 15-20 minutes to get down now. Know where I am. Yeah, it's just so good being out in nature, even though you get stung or whatever. It just takes all of your attention. I haven't got my AirPods in. I'm not listening to a podcast. I'm not playing music. It's just enough. It's just enough. So yeah, get out in nature. Bring some bug spray with you. Unlike me, make sure you have a stick. You should be all right. So I did actually have with me what we will refer to as a square of hike enhancing chocolate. But I'm somewhat pleased that I decided to not take that because that would have definitely increased the intensity of this hike. It could have been fun, but yeah, that would have been an interesting spanner in the works. Just seeing a fellow traveller making his way up. It's funny, he's actually heard something rumbling around as well, and he said he thought it was nothing, but I've given him my staff, my stick, the staff of protection for him to kind of have with him just in case. And we are done. Fuck. And we are done, back to where we started. Just in time for a beautiful sunset. Smooth. You see, you might not be able to see it, but my arm's swollen from the sting there. I'm gonna watch the sunset at one of my favorite spots. Pretty quiet, magic spot, so we'll just do some reading and a bit of journaling. Watching the sunset on the last night, nothing better. And then I've been invited to a party. And if you know me, I'm not one for parties, but this island is known for parties. And I've been invited by a couple of friends to one that's supposed to be quite good. So I'm going to go with an open mind. So this is my local beach. Come down here a good chunk to watch the sunset. It's just stunning. Golden, and the water's like a swimming pool here. It's so calm and so beautiful. But I like to head over to the end and sit and read, watch the sunset. Currently reading Reality Transurfing in 78 Days. I've read Reality Transurfing, but this is supposed to be like quite a lot actionable. Yeah, like the principles broken down into daily actions. It's pretty good so far. I will reread the original. It's just a mammoth task going through that book. I read it like 2-3 years ago, and it took a good month to get through it. Something I've been thinking on recently is the nature of true abundance and kind of some of the things that I've noticed in the online space. I'm sure you've heard many times, hey, escape the matrix, escape the matrix. But the online space, the digital entrepreneur space, has become its own matrix. When you really look at it, most people are either down the agency route, the coaching route, drop shipping, or maybe affiliate stuff. So it's kind of very limited. It's kind of its own very limited matrix. in a way. And something I've been thinking about recently is this idea of where and how. That often we are searching for answers of how to get somewhere before we know where we're going. So we focus on the tools, techniques, get caught up in the details of the how we might do something, rather than focusing all our attention on the where we're actually trying to end up. Here's the thing, when you kind of learn from someone else online, when you study their how did they do something, you will end up in their where. So you'll end up in their dream, in their vision that they had. And that might not be where you wanted to go, but that's because you followed their how. And I see this a lot online. And I think the real key to things, I think how this is going to evolve moving forward, is the focus is going to be on the where. The focus has to be on the where. All of your attention has to be on exactly where you want to go and where you want to end up and how that looks unique to you. Do not be kind of convinced by other people's ideas of success. You need to define what your own idea of success is. Like, completely define what that looks like. What does that look like specifically for you? Your vision is your own. It belongs to no one else apart from you. So I see a lot of people who've they've had monetary success perhaps, or whatever they've done because they followed someone else's process. And that's great, but they're not truly happy because it's not where they wanted to go. And hey, look, the point of life isn't happiness. The point of life is life and just experiencing it and enjoying it and just experiencing it. That's why we're here. We're here to just experience all of it, the ups and the downs. And that's why we came here, was to just soak it all up, soak up some life and experience it. I'm sure you've heard that we are the universe, we are God experiencing itself. Some people find that triggering. I found that nothing to be true, and it's not blasphemous in any way. It's more and more I feel like life is a remembering of who we truly are. It's not necessarily about learning lessons, it's about remembering that everything is put in front of us to help us remember who we are. Like that crab that just bit my toe. So yeah, I would highly recommend reading books like the Tao Te Ching. The Wayne Dyer essays on it are fabulous. I've been reading that for a long time. Recently got a new translation that I'm getting stuck into now. All of his stuff is amazing. What else is really good on that topic? Yeah, I'm recently digging into Paul Selig's work. That's really interesting, and they're done as like courses, so you can do it an hour a day and it kind of flows like a course. Brilliant, really, really good. Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh. That's an awesome book. Yeah, I think my point here is spend all of your attention, put your intention on the where, of what the where looks like for you, where you want to end up, and don't be bullied around by anyone else's where. Your where is your business, it's your own. Whatever you want your life to look like, get specific. And then the how becomes apparent. So here's an analogy. If you focus all your attention on a how you're going to get somewhere, the vehicle of getting somewhere. I'm using the analogy of a journey. And you've got this beautiful first class flight, beautiful Mercedes S-Class to take you to the airport, You've sorted all this stuff out. But really the where you wanted to get to was next door. All of the how, all of that attention and energy on the how to get there is irrelevant. But once you're very, very clear on the where, like crystal clear on the where, down to the just fine details, and specifically how the where makes you feel and how the where will be experienced as well, the destination, how that will be experienced. Feel that, really feel that. The how then presents itself. The how then becomes obvious. If you just want to go next door, you know that you're going to walk and you know how to get there. But yeah, I see a lot of this on the online space, that people are selling their hows, but there's not much consideration for your own unique where and how to spend time really cultivating that and building actions towards your unique where. So yeah, those are some thoughts I've been having over the last few days and weeks, and definitely with Modern Creator, I'm going to be opening up a wait list for kind of a 2.0 version of the group, and it's going to definitely have this as one of the guiding principles, is really, because a lot of these online guys, they have their system and they try and just give you their system that will work to achieve their result. But if that's not the result you actually want, then tough, So I'm definitely more interested in focusing on this where and really helping you guys, people, just define, crystallize that vision, and then once that is crystallized, help out with the where, and that will look different for everyone. That will look completely different for everyone. You know, it could be connections, it could be network, it could be processes, it could be leveling up in certain areas. And hey, it's more difficult, you know, it's more difficult. It's not as simple as, hey, here's a course to watch, necessarily. You know, it's more hands-on, but I really think that that's the way this kind of online space is going, and yeah, what I've been thinking about over the last couple of weeks, really. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to enjoy the sunset now, seeing as it's my last one here. Look at that, stunner.